And I will put my heart on the line in business, in friendships, in love, in whatever the fuck. And I don't care what it looks like. You can drop it down and slice it in half. You can stomp on it. You can take your foot and scrape it across the ground. But at least I can say I fucking gave it my all. And that's more than what most people will ever be able to say in this lifetime. And I feel like if my son just follows his heart and just follows that, he'll be good. Whatever he's meant to experience and see, it will all come full circle. But you have to follow. That's the first thing. You have to trust your heart. What's on your heart? And even this interview, I knew it even though I was scared and I was so judging you, like, oh my God, this guy's about to be a fucking asshole. I knew on my heart that this was the beginning. Oof. I knew that this was the beginning of me being on the right path.
I told you before we even got on this thing, I said, yo, it's a certain group of people I don't even fucking do interviews with.
Right.
I'm not even looking to kick it with them because I don't fuck with them. I don't fuck with the idea of their message, how it impacts people, and so on and so forth. And so I take ownership and responsibility for that. And so when you know better, you have to do better.
Right.
But when people know better and they choose not to do better, they got to own that. And nobody wants to be responsible for it. They just say, everybody choose your own, make your own choices. If I could have very much made my wife a chick for the streets.
What does that mean?
Meaning that she had subjected herself to my will. She says, do with me what you will. She says, hey, take my virginity. Listen, whatever it is that you want me to, whatever it is that happens, it's, she gave her whole self to me. She was literally, you did a video on submission, but she literally submitted to me. I could have did with that what I wanted to. I could have pimped her out, right? I could have fucked her over. I could have did anything I wanted to her. I could have made her whatever I wanted her to be. I took responsibility and ownership for her well-being, which then also impacted what my daughter is going to experience. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And so I admire the idea that, listen, Instagram didn't make you do it and all of this other type of stuff, but we also leaving out a part of the conversation where we're not taking responsibility for how we impact other people. And I know that's an unpopular perspective because everybody wants everybody else to take responsibility for what happens, right? If you go with a guy and he fuck you over, they're going to say, well, you chose wrong. But what about the other half of that conversation?
I agree with that. I mean, I feel like there is another half to that conversation we have to talk about because is anybody out here hurting anybody? Like, it's like, where does that come from? What does that do for you?
Facts.
I totally agree with that. I guess for me, it's like when I think about being so misunderstood, when I think about this long, treacherous, scenic route to, maybe it could have been avoided if I had a great dad. I love my dad now. We have a great relationship now. But, like, maybe it could have been avoided. We don't got to play those maybe, coulda, woulda, shoulda. If the dog wouldn't have stopped the shit, he would have caught the rabbit. But I feel like I don't question what I've been through. I just pass along the wisdom. And I feel like, again, depending on what people believe in, God, creator, source, universe, nothing, whatever, you can't really pick how you're going to be utilized. And I feel like in my heart, I don't know, again, I can't tell you what he looks like, when it's gonna be 20 years from now, 2 months from now. I feel like I am being used as an example of a woman being literally stoned to death in every way, broken down, degraded on a consistent basis, and still rising from the ashes, still believing in love, still choosing the road less traveled. And there may not be a Mr. Wonderful at the end of the tunnel, but it's like, I'm going through this to at least share my message. I'm hoping Mr. Wonderful is at the end of the tunnel. An ideal world, that's what I would love for that to be. But what does a world look like if there is no Mr. Wonderful? All I can say is I've always questioned, why am I like this? Why can't I just be different? Why couldn't I just stayed in school and not like to wear shorts up my ass and Why couldn't I just be more like simple? But this is how I'm wired. And I try to explain that to even Kevin when him and I did that interview. I'm like, I'm the girl that wants to stand on the bar and go crazy. And that's at my core who I am. I'm a wild heart. I'm a brave heart and I'm a wild heart. And I cannot change my internal wiring. It goes against like nature, like who I am biologically. So instead of questioning it, trying to contain it, shaming myself into something I'm not, I don't know where this takes me. I don't know what I'm supposed to fucking be doing. I don't know if I don't know. I'm just following my heart and I'm trusting that it's going to take me to wherever I need to go. And along the way, I'll get whatever gems I need, whether Mr. Wonderful is there or not. I got all this life experience. I meet amazing people like you guys. I get to now integrate this perspective of not shaming myself if I only want one kid, not believing in love. I can say that I actually know 2 men now. You're the second one that are faithful to their wife, love their wife, and their wife's not over there like, oh my God, he's lying. Like you can literally see life being spoken into you both, being poured into you both. That's exactly why I'm never going to give up and why I'm going to keep preaching my message, why I'm going to keep trucking wherever it takes me and just trust it's going to end however it's going to end. I don't know.
Well, listen, I got your back.
Thank you. Thank you. I know y'all got my back.
Real talk. Like, I don't move based off of what popular opinion is. I move based off of what the fuck I want to do because I'm a self-made and I don't give a fuck what nobody say. Like, you can't censor me. I'm going to do what I want to do when I want to do it. Let me ask you one last question. Okay. That's the last question I got for you.
Okay.
All right. Considering all that you've been through and your story and how much you've shared with people online and things like that, and you know how transparent you are and all of the different things that you've been through, what would you say to your future son? Right? Let's just say hypothetically, he's going to see this, and this is going to help him to understand where you were mentally at this point in your life when he was 1 year old. And let's say this is 20 years from now and he's 21 years old. What would you say? What is it that you would communicate to him in this moment right here, right now?
I love a good cliche. I feel like despite what it looks like on paper, like people's opinion, whatever, I would say that I feel why I know I am so unique. And what I would want to tell my son is really simple, and that's to follow your heart. I have more fucking courage in my big toe than a lot of people do in their entire fucking body. And I will put my heart on the line in business, in friendships, in love, in whatever the fuck. And I don't care what it looks like. You can drop it down and slice it in half. You can stomp on it. You can take your foot and scrape it across the ground. But at least I can say I fucking gave it my all. And that's more than what most people will ever be able to say in this lifetime. And I feel like if my son just follows his heart and just follows that, he'll be good. Whatever he's meant to experience and see, it will all come full circle. But you have to follow. That's the first thing. You have to trust your heart. What's on your heart? And even this interview, I knew it even though I was scared and I was so judging you, like, oh my God, this guy's about to be a fucking asshole. I knew on my heart that this was the beginning. Oof. I knew that this was the beginning of me being on the right path.